Welcome back to the Australian Business Show. Today, I'm excited to feature two dynamic leaders, Liz Ferentinos and Chin Boon, who not only bring sharp, strategic, technological expertise, but are also pushing boundaries in biotech through Maison innovation. This cutting-edge venture is driving breakthrough advances in health and life sciences, reflecting how innovation can reshape industries and impact lives. We'll explore their unique journeys, the convergence of tech and biotech, and how they navigate complex challenges in fast-evolving sectors. Chin, Liz, welcome to the Australian Business Show. I've been so looking forward to this. It's been coming for a little while. Last time I think we were scheduled and you both got sick.
I got sick, yes.
Yeah.
I was pretty sick.
Anyway, that's all right. We made it here now.
Yes.
I think we're going to talk about a couple of things today, and you're working very closely now on dealing with dementia, and dementia is a thing that affects, probably everybody now has had some kind of interaction with it, whether it's through family, friends or associates. And
Yes.
and so it's a big problem. I see recently it's also one of the leading causes of death, if not the leading, correct me if I'm wrong, Liz, the leading cause of death now in adult females.
Correct.
And so, this is a significant problem, and watching you with the research that you're doing at the Florey Institute and together with Maison, I think is incredible, because the moment it appears to me like we're treating the symptoms, but you're looking at
A possible cause.
cure or prevention.
Yes. So what happened is that I accidentally come across a possible alternative cause that everyone accepted from the beta
That wasn't accident,
amyloid.
it was pure brilliance.
Genius.
Genius. It's a
A moment
moment
of brilliance.
it's like equivalent to the discovery of penicillin. So it's because we are researching on something else, and then we came upon the possibility that dementia is caused by the deficiency of a molecule we call DL33, and when we synthesize the DL33 and replace it into the mouse model, the Alzheimer mouse model or the childhood dementia mouse model, Niemann-Pick type C mutation, we can actually reverse the cognitive decline. It actually became normal. So and very quickly as well, within for the childhood dementia model, it was within 2 weeks of treatment, just a low dose of this DL33. So and in the Alzheimer mouse models, after 6 weeks, they actually their learning ability actually became normal. So DL33 is a molecule that our brain actually makes, and we make a lot of it when we're young. But then if you have a gene mutation, such as the Niemann-Pick mutation and Alzheimer, the APP beta mutation, somehow the brain stop the DL33 factory in the brain shut down and stop making DL33. And aging will cause the factory to shut down as well. So that's why you have deficiency. Just like in diabetes, it's due to insulin resistance, or you cannot produce insulin, and then you can manage it by taking insulin. So in dementia, we believe it's a huge paradigm shift. It's away from the regular previous known pathways. Yep.
So this is not just a potential prevention, but a potential cure?
Treatment, because it's not a cure as such that you take one and then you won't went away. But you can manage it. You can take it every day, just like you can have blood tests when you for vitamin D, and then if you're deficient, you can take the vitamin D and be fine. You won't develop osteoporosis or rickets. So it's similar to that. We can actually use it as a prevention, because in our mouse we actually see that the deficiency went down 6 months before the symptoms show up, the cognitive decline or the self-death show up. Yeah.
Early detection as well.
Yes, so that's right. So you can have a blood test, and then to measure the level of DL33 in your blood, and then we just take DL33 as a tablet, and you should be fine if you restore it to the normal level. Yeah. So that's what I hope. So it's a discovery just like vitamin C. Long time ago, the sailors or suffer from scurvy, didn't know why, then realized that, it's a vitamin deficiency of vitamin C. So now you hardly heard about scurvy anymore. Yeah, because people just take vitamin C tablets.
I read that dementia affects about 50 million people at the moment in the world, and another 10 million being diagnosed annually at the moment.
Yes, because 1 in 3, just like 3 of us sitting here, 1 of us may get dementia.
My wife probably thinks I already have it because I forget everything.
Yeah. So 1 of us could be. So that's why it's rather alarming. Yeah, but I'm hoping that if we 1 of us or all 3 of us going to get a blood test, whoever's the DL33 is low, then we just take the DL33 tablets and stop you from developing dementia. Yep.
I speak in my book that I released recently as Code Blue to Code Breakthrough is called, and it was a roadmap for fixing a broken system essentially, because I've been in the industry 30 odd years in healthcare and I see the stifling of innovation in this country especially. How are you finding, and I'd be interested from a commercial point of view as well, Liz, but also as a researcher and scientist.
I have a quick thing about this. I actually went to tell the previous CEO, director of NHMRC, the National Health Medical Research Council. They are the one that give out federal grants for a researcher. That is very embarrassing in Australia. Australia has a few Nobel Prize winner, right? In research, but none of their research was actually funded in Australia. So it's just ridiculous. Why the system is broken? Because when we write a proposal for research, they only fund safe research, not a blue sky research. So you need to because it's peer reviewed. So you just make a small increment step. They don't fund breakthrough research. So that's why all the Nobel Prize winners, their breakthrough research was actually funded overseas. Yeah, by overseas government and funding bodies. So that's the broken system here.
Yeah, and it's a problem. It's a real problem because we lose so much of it. But Liz,
we do.
Maison Innovations, Maison Health, is your brainchild. And maybe if you could tell us a little bit, I know you've told me before, but for the listeners, a little bit about what motivated you to want to do something. I know this was deeply personal for you.
Yep.
Motivated you to want to do something, and then Maison and how Maison is funding a lot of this research. But then also I'm interested to hear how you're finding it commercially, locally here versus opportunities overseas.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Well, I lost my mum to dementia. So my mum passed away in 2016, and shortly after, through Kerry Hegarty from the University of Melbourne, introduced me to Watchin. And sitting down with Watchin after the passing of my mum 4 months prior was still, very, very sore. And being in a nursing home for nearly 9 years with my mum, you see the deterioration of just what dementia does. And then meeting Watchin, looking at the science, being presented the science, I just remember meeting her and just started crying, and I just can't walk away. And exactly what she said, completely different to everybody else. And the rest really for us is history. I just couldn't walk away and said, okay, let's do this. Built the company, bring on the best people of the best, had it, independently reviewed by others as well, to make sure, because I think that's my duty of care and responsibility as well, because you can fall in love and everyone thinks that their children are the most beautiful, and we can think that, our science is the best science, but to have it externally validated is also really important. And I think there's a lot of validation within our own Maison team as well, which is very, very important to us, and that's very proud to be able to say that, where we also... With one of the projects, we had a SPV, a special purpose vehicle, where we had a significant amount of researchers that put in as a group supporting Watchin's research. And that in itself, I have never seen before. And I don't think many biotech companies can say that.
Yeah. So more than 14 researchers has actually invested in Maison.
Right.
Yes, and I should add that our seed funding was actually provided by the state government, the program of Victorian Medical Research Accelerated Fund. Yeah, from when Dan Andrews was in charge.
So researchers who have seen the science,
yes,
the early science.
Yes, they're the researcher that
actually
involved in the research.
Yeah.
Yes. So they we actually published
self-funded originally.
Yeah. We actually published the autism research and potential treatment, and they saw the data and they generated the data. They believed it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to
Does that
remember,
happen often? Researchers then invest in their own research or a colleague's research. Does that happen very often?
not that I know of.
I've never seen it
So
happen.
so I was very shocked when my co-author said they want to fund this. Because
It's exciting.
I've never
Yes.
seen that. And also, Nick, one of our investors as well is a NASDAQ-listed biotech company as well that is also obviously very, very experienced in the field. And they've also invested multiple times. So it's that external validation.
Yeah.
You know, we know and see the science and we know what's in, and, you know, it's not just a one-off experiment, it's multiple times and
yeah,
time and time again.
yeah. Other researchers actually said to me that I'm a fussy researcher.
I'd like to think that's a good thing for
Yes,
a
it's a good thing.
researcher.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why. That's a good thing. They also know that I don't just try to generate data to support my hypothesis. So this whole thing came out with my proving that my original hypothesis was wrong.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what happened. So that's why it's agnostic. It's actually a really neutral thing. I'm not going there to prove myself right. Actually, I went in there to try to prove myself wrong every single time. And then it actually turned out that it's right, you know, the research. Yeah. So I've done many different ways of checking the data. And also the data has been audited by external people before it was assigned to Maison.
It's interesting because it would be easy for a researcher to potentially succumb to the ego of something and then be seeking to prove it rather than seeking to disprove it. There's a very distinct difference between those two things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I actually don't have ego.
No, you don't. No.
Yeah,
But that's rare too.
Because
Yeah.
because
In
I
scientists.
because
That's
I
my
actually want to find out the truth. So I
Why?
wanted,
What motivates you?
because
for that?
since a 3-year-old kid, I always wanted to be a scientist because I'm curious about the whole world, curious about science, curious about why you know flowers is red or white. Yeah, so I just want to
Why are
understand the
flowers
stuff.
red?
Because of the pigment and they carry the gene. So since a kid, I spend my pocket money. It's just a curiosity of the whole world. Yeah, and I settled down finally to focus on doing research in neuroscience because I feel that that's the last frontier that you know that we can't really understand how memory is stored and stuff like that. And also the other thing is I want to help people. So instead of I'm coming along this path not to make millions of money. If I could, I'd rather not patent it. But then my friends who work as a patent attorney told me that I really have to patent it because it's really costly for clinical trial. And then nobody will give you money to do a clinical trial, so your research will be futile. The treatment will never reach the hands of the patients. So that's why I have to go down this path to raise fund for the clinical trial, to patent it and raise fund for the clinical trial.
100% commercially, you know, big pharma, do they want you to, I mean, unless they can own the patent, I guess, but do they want you to come up with a treatment for dementia? I mean, or are they making too much money?
So now there are only a couple of approved dementia treatment, which is antibody to dissolve the beta amyloid plaque, and it's targeted to beta accumulation. Then I think big pharma will fund it if the money to be made. So the way we will go is that we can license the patent to them. Yeah, and they actually usually don't do that much R&D now. So they will, because there's so many startup company everywhere, so they will actually acquire the IP once you show that in after phase 2 trial it actually worked, or after phase 3 trial that it actually works. Yeah, so I do think that the big pharma will come on board once we show that it works.
Yeah, because it's one thing to show it in the animal data, which we have, and then they want to see the same correlation in human clinical trials.
Yeah. Most biotech startups fail. Why is this different? Is it bad science? They can't handle the pressure? I imagine that there's all of these things go on, but why do most biotechs fail, and why is this different?
I think this is different because most biotech fail at the animal toxicology, or talking about therapeutics product, or phase 1, because most biotech or startup, they will try to generate a new chemical entity, right? Something that doesn't exist in nature, and then that triggers side effect, because in the lab, in the tissue culture, they say, oh yeah, great, it's working. But then when you put it to an animal, or you put it in the phase 1 trial in healthy volunteers, they accidentally trigger some other unwanted pathways. Yeah, so that's what we call side effects. Yeah. Some side effects good, like like the not Ozempic, the mild erection dysfunction drug. That was actually Viagra. That's
Viagra.
right. Yes. So Viagra.
I'm impressed nobody here knew what that was.
So Viagra was actually a new chemical that they tried to develop to treat a heart condition.
That's right.
Yeah. So during the clinical trial, then the patients start to complain about unwanted erection.
Yeah.
So they thought, that's new. Yeah. So they actually go down the path that became popular.
Yeah. My dog takes Viagra, a quarter tablet every day.
For her heart.
Yeah.
Your what? Sorry.
My dog.
Her pet.
My female dog takes Viagra every day, quarter tablet.
From erections.
Yeah. So that is a good side effect. Yeah. So I think that's the reason. 90% of the animal toxicology will fail because of the unknown effect that the pathway triggers by the new chemical. So in our case, for both drugs, it's actually created in nature. So it's been selected by nature to do this function. Yeah. So
because this DL33 is naturally occurring in the
yes, in the brain that we make it. Yeah. So then we MOH is naturally occurring as well. Just like vitamin C from orange is naturally occurring. So the risk of it triggering unwanted pathway is really low. And also some people say, but if you take too much of it, what's the dosage you are using? So if you use such a high dosage, maybe it will trigger some unwanted pathway and create side effect. But we are not. So the dosage that we are using is equivalent to what is naturally occurring in a healthy brain anyway. So it shouldn't trigger any unwanted side effects. So
why are we seeing such an increase in adult dementia specifically at this when we can talk about childhood dementia as well? But there's
aging.
We're living longer.
Yes,
we are living longer.
Yes, living longer. So Jane Austen time, average age 35 year old. So never.
That's our age.
never have any dementia problem. But now we have got control of our heart disease. So because heart attack used to be the top killer, but now with of the healthier lifestyle and stuff, so they actually have a healthier heart, but now the brain conk out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what can the average person do throughout their life to reduce the chances of dementia? I mean, okay, if we come up with a treatment, fantastic, but we're living longer and longer and longer. And you're right, I remember visiting, aunties of mine that were probably in their 50s and 60s, but they're like 80 and 90-year-olds.
Yep.
And now, 60s and 70s are still, running marathons and running businesses, and some 70-year-old men are still having babies, children. But so what can the average person do in the early stages of their life? Is it exercise? Is it sunlight, vitamin D? Is it what are the things that they can do? There's some of the things that I've read about that
So of course, you have to exercise your brain. Yeah, which is, you can think it's like a muscles. The more you use it, the better it is. So you can do Sudoku every single day or learn a second language every single day. So for about half an hour.
Sorry, but you've just triggered me on something. But AI, we don't have to think so much.
Yeah, that's actually really bad.
So I was going to ask you.
Yes.
Using AI,
using the Google Map, because once upon a time you had to memorize where is what. Now it's like you just drive and turn left and right by the left man or the Google Map.
Yeah.
So you are using the brain less. Actually, there are reports to say that the human population IQ is going down. So because we are more too reliant on technology. Yeah, things that we have to memorize.
To think for us.
Yeah, to think for us. So that's really bad. I myself refuse to use Navman or Google Map. Yeah, so that I can memorize locations and things like that. Yeah. So we should not be so reliant on AI and things like that. Yeah.
But on technology, we've also tried to use it to our advantage, Nick. So when we were submitting our pre-IND for MO8, which is our autism treatment, we did, and Watching can talk to it more, is organ on a chip. So we use all this new technology to try to help and advance us and also de-risk the program. So this is where we try to look further down the timeline and then bring that back up so that we can tick box, not to see unforeseen things, because with new AI and new technology, you can really help accelerate your program.
Yeah, so definitely, if we're using AI or the organ on chip, thank you for bringing up that organ on chip. I forgot about that. So what happened is, why you asked me why our startup will be different from other startups, is because we actually have tested our drug with this organ on chip by this company called Emulate. They patented it so they can keep human kidney tissues and liver tissues alive for 12 days in their patented chip. So they can flush whatever chemicals we want to test
through
to the chip and see whether it caused the human kidney tissues or liver tissues to die off. So we have actually done that, and FDA actually commissioned them to test the COVID vaccine because it was an emergency. We don't have a whole month to wait for the vaccine to be tested in the animal to see whether it's a side effect. So they actually tested on the organ on chip for 10 days. And then if the tissues look completely well, that means it shouldn't have a side effect on killing of our liver or kidney, because the other two tissues that are their role in our body is to fight off foreign bodies. So they are the first site to see the foreign things. And then if it's toxic to them, there are two organs to fail first, because they will try to protect the rest of the organs like our brain. Yeah, so they'll try to fight the foreign substance. Yeah.
Interesting. So we have to use our brain, so would you recommend a certain amount of time every day? I mean, reading, crossword?
Yeah, crosswords definitely for at least half an hour a day.
Okay.
Yeah, you can even play some, like apps that actually help you to train your brain. Yes, definitely. Yep. And then the other thing
is puzzles.
Yes, and then the other thing is try to take a lot of antioxidants to stop the brain cells from dying. So so what happened is that...
Do you think supplements are okay for that, or natural antioxidants?
I always recommend natural.
Yep.
So every day you have a handful of berries, 2 cups of green tea. Yeah, that will help. And then because without DL33, the brain will start to die. But then if you have antioxidant, they will survive longer. So hopefully with this regime of green tea and berries, and the other thing is have protein. You should have a palm size of protein a day. Can it be tofu or eggs? Yeah.
I did hear something about peanut butter. I love peanut butter.
Yeah. So
tell me that's going to extend my life.
Yes. So what happens is that our brain can make DL33 from something in the peanut butter. So in the Chinese encyclopedia on herbs, when you look up dementia, they actually say the treatment is peanut. So but the peanut itself does not contain DL33. So, but it will keep your brain healthy until the time when the DL33 factory in your brain shut down.
Yeah.
That's when you really need to take the DL33 tablets.
So any type of peanut butter? Commercial or would you again?
No, or anytime. And also you can have the roasted just whole peanuts. Yeah, because there was interestingly, there was another study that showed that the whole peanuts can actually reverse the shortening of the DNA telomere. That means it's sort of like aging.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as you age, the DNA, the chromosome telomere shortens. And then, they think that is the mechanism of aging. But apparently, don't know why, but peanuts actually can lengthen it again.
So 2 cups of green tea, a spoonful of peanut butter and a handful of berries and some protein.
Yes, correct.
Every day?
Every day.
And a crossword?
Yes, and a crossword. And also physical exercise as well. Yeah, half an hour. That's to reduce stress. So one thing, stress actually, So another reason why dementia or depression, especially depression, is prevalent in our modern society is because the brain or the body will secrete a stress hormone to help you to fight or flight, right? So in the caveman time, if the stress usually some predator coming to try to eat you.
Cortisol?
Yes, that's right, cortisol, yeah. And cortisol actually do kill brain cells, literally kill the brain cells. So if you keep having stress, and now you know the stress, you can't deal with it by fighting or flight or running away because your boss, the stress might be from your boss. You can't punch out your boss.
You could. You just might end up in more trouble.
But you do have to use it up.
You're a violent researcher.
No, I'm not. I'm just I'm actually not a very physical person, but I can be quite sarcastic. Half an hour exercise is really important so that you can reduce your stress level, use up the cortisol, because the cortisol will literally kill the brain cells.
We're not good at that in Australia, are we? We are not good at the balance between work and what's the? I'm not talking about work-life balance because that's not a thing in my book, but it's about having balance in the areas of your life. So, because you're talking about relaxation, breathing, yoga, meditation, but something to...
So yoga, meditation, all this calms you down, reduce anxiety. But if you are really, really stressed, you still have to...
Whiskey.
Alcohol is bad for your brain.
Right.
So you should use up the stress hormone by doing 30 minutes of exercise, such as for me, I actually don't go to the gym, but I chose to walk to work instead of catching the tram, and I choose to use the stairs instead of the lift. So because it doesn't have to be a stretch of 30 minutes, it can be just total up 30 minutes of physical activity. Yeah.
So and it doesn't necessarily have to be when your reaction is heightened to the stress.
No, not necessary, but because the cortisol will linger even after the stress event. Yeah. But if you are feeling really stressed, of course it helps if you walked away from a laptop. Let's say, boss and you're really annoying. You feel your blood pressure go up.
Yep. Don't punch him out.
so you should actually go for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, or go up and down the stairs. If you feel better.
Yeah. Liz, Maison, what's next for Maison? So what stage are you at now? You've got a big task in terms of capital raising. Because it's super expensive, right?
Very.
Research.
Yes, and especially post-COVID.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Everything just became more
inflation.
expensive. Everything went up a lot. Okay. So currently we've already started animal toxicology. So we're fully funded for animal toxicology. And now we're raising capital for our first in-human clinical trials.
Next year.
Congratulations.
Or next year, 2026. Thank you.
2026.
Yes.
So how much more do you need to raise?
So up until now, we've raised just over 10 million now.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So very proud
over the
and very
whole
over the whole project. Yes.
Yeah.
Australian. And but we're very fortunate because we also are very proactive, not reactive, where we've said with engagement with the FDA, as an example, we're able to have, and also with childhood dementia and autism, phase 1B, we can actually have patient cohorts. So that to us is a huge milestone.
Yeah, so we need to raise another $3 million US. Yeah.
Correct.
Is it hard?
It's very hard in Australia.
Nick, is the current political climate, the unstabilizing economy with all the tariff stuff. So in our first round of fundraising, we actually closed the round after 2 weeks.
2 dinners.
Yeah, 2 dinners. Yeah, over 2 weeks. So one weekend. So then the second round, we closed it after 48 hours.
So just because someone might not be ready right now, they want to see you actually hit those milestones and say what you do and do what you say. And that's what's really important for us. So we're very big on transparency, communication with our shareholders, and we're very much about we prioritise every single dollar spent, early engagement, making sure we do the right thing, don't want to go back and have to repeat. And so this is where we try to de-risk everything that we say.
Yeah. We have hit milestones within budget. Yeah, so far, always, yeah.
You sent me something just in the last 24 hours, I think, Liz, with Sam Altman, who's invested $180 odd million into a longevity biotech startup. I mean, the money's there. To me, whether it's big business or whether it's government, I mean, government has got a vested interest in this too. Why? What's the problem with Australian government? I know we spoke a little bit about that here. And is there opportunity then internationally?
Yeah. Funny you say that. I had another email this morning from our federal government, and also I've spoken this week with our state government. And government doesn't fund much. They fund very, very early preclinical with Wajin that say does investigator grants that are still associated to an academic institute. Once you are then spun out and become a biotech where then that is then assigned or licensed, it becomes private. So therefore it's not so much in where their funding is spent. We are now fully funded for animal toxicology. Where they do come back is then when they start looking at funding and supporting you in assisting in clinical trials, because now you're in human phase 2 clinical trials.
I won't fund phase 1. So we are basically now in the what we call valley of death. So the government will not fund animal toxicology and will not fund phase 1. And the reason being because 90% will fail. Yeah. So we have to find our own funding. So we managed to raise the funding for animal toxicology, which is big effort on our part. So now we are trying to get past the valley of death by finding funding for phase 1. Yeah. So once we pass phase 1, the government, the MRFS can come in to do the phase 2. Yeah. But before we reach there, we have to cross this valley of death.
You mentioned, so you've said dementia and then autism, and we haven't really opened that can on autism. So maybe it's a good segue into that, because is there a relationship between them? Why are we talking about dementia and autism in the same sentence?
Yeah, so there's actually no relation. Right. One is a neurodevelopmental disorder. That means that something happened in the womb that changed the brain connections or affect the brain's connections. Then dementia is due to aging. Yeah. So I actually started research on autism first. And last year on the 8th of August, I was actually on the front page of The Australian, because I found out the mechanism to explain why autism is more prevalent in boys than girls. Yeah, so we saw the relationship, the linking of autism to the level of plastics in the mom's blood. And when we gave the plastic,
microplastics.
It's not plastic. It's a chemical.
Right.
Yeah, it's not even microplastic. Microplastic is plastic broken out into tiny pieces.
Right.
This is actually before the microplastic. So even if you microwave something plastic, heat it up like Glad wrap or the food container, the plastic itself, the chemical actually leach into your food. So it's not even microplastic, it's a chemical leaching into your food. And even in tin food, there are coating of plastic in there. So tin food have been sitting there for months. So slowly, the plastic actually dissolve into the food. Yeah, so you can't even see it with a microscope. It become part of food, just like salt dissolve into your soup, right? So yeah, so that actually went to your brain and turned off the brain estrogen, the factory that make brain estrogen. So in girls, the ovaries can make estrogen, so it's not a problem. So it can still help the brain to connect. But in the boys, once the brain estrogen factory is turned off by the plastic when it's in utero, they don't have ovaries to make estrogen. So and then the level of that's why autism is a spectrum. It's not you have it or you don't have it. So there are high functioning individual with autism, and then there are the severely affected ones, which cannot be independent or violent or non-verbal. So I discovered this pathway, and then I went to screen for the molecules that can function like a brain estrogen, and I found it. So with people who have their brain estrogen factory shut down, for some reason or other, and we also found out not just plastic will shut down this brain estrogen, even the lack of vitamin D when the mom was pregnant will shut down this. We're preparing the paper now. That other chemicals like heavy metals will shut down this brain estrogen, and so then we can, if we give back the brain estrogen, the brain will start to connect properly again.
So could a mother? So let's say a mother falls pregnant and carries her pregnancy through the winter months here in Melbourne, for example. Is there a higher likelihood of a deficiency in vitamin D than maybe a pregnancy through summer?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a hypothesis.
Yes, hypothesis. Yes. Actually, some I believe there are studies focus on this, but I don't know whether they actually link it. That I don't want to make the linkage that if the baby is the pregnancy through winter, the higher chance of autism. I don't know. So that one I can't support confirm that.
Maybe my brilliance is just discovered something.
That's a good question. Yeah. We can actually go back to our data to actually see that. Yeah, to see whether the pregnancy during winter actually affects the autism. Yeah. So actually, it would be interesting to look at the children, whether if you are born in summertime, that means your whole pregnancy is during winter time. That you have higher incidence of autism. Yeah, that's a good question, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there's new question to answer. Yes, I don't know the answer. Yeah. So some people I know they are we should celebrate neurodivergent. So these therapeutics is just to give choices. So some people asked me, the high functioning autism people, they actually have they are savant in certain aspect, like maths genius or artist genius. But if we take the supplement or the drug, will they actually suppress their
superpower?
Yeah, lose their superpower. But I can say no, it will not suppress the superpower. It actually will help the connection. So why some autistic people they have superpower is because their certain part of their brains are connected really well, and certain part is not connected so well. So usually the part that's not connected so well, and that's the part that needs the brain estrogen, is the communication and the social interaction. Yeah. So their logical thinking is connected really well, but the verbal thing is the region is not connected well. So by taking the drug, it will help the brain region that controls social interaction and verbal communication. They will be able to communicate their brilliance. They actually help them to tell the world about their ingenious ideas. But it's a choice. Yes, and also it will help low functioning autistic people that is non-verbal, and also those that cannot be independent. Yeah.
Is there a difference between ADHD and autism?
Yes. So ADHD has no problem in communication,
Okay.
but they have problem in focusing. So I don't say that our drug can fix ADHD because that's a different mechanism.
And so Liz Maison is involved in this research as well?
Yes, correct.
Autism. I mean, it makes sense watching what you were saying then about why, we spoke about the prevalence of dementia because we're living longer, but the prevalence of autism has exploded too.
75 million people around the world, more than dementia.
More than dementia.
Between
at
our
the
two
moment.
treatments, at the moment. So in 2025, 130 million people globally.
Total of both disorders.
And coming up next month, we've got an awareness event around autism.
No, childhood dementia, Niemann-Pick type
that's
C.
childhood dementia in October.
Yes.
So, we didn't even get to childhood dementia yet.
Yes.
Too, which, most people, I don't know that most people are even aware of the fact that there's childhood dementia.
I didn't even know 2.5 years ago until I saw I saw the TV and there was it was on the Today Show and I saw a mother, and that was actually the day that I was visiting a federal minister, and when I walked into the room, that was the first question she asked, and that was the first question I also asked watching childhood dementia. Didn't even know this existed. I just thought dementia was an old person or someone aging. The youngest I ever saw was a 40-year-old woman in a nursing home with my mum. I didn't even know children can be born with childhood dementia, and in our case, our treatment being for NPC.
Yeah, so Liz called me and she was sobbing and said, okay, our DL33 helps with child dementia. I said, I have no idea. Then I said, let me research into it, do some reading. Then I realized that 10% of childhood dementia is Niemann-Pick type C. And in Niemann-Pick type C, they're actually DL33 deficient. So Florey has all type of mouse models. So we do have a Niemann-Pick type C mouse models. So I gave, so this is a story I like to tell. There's this, the first baby mouse came out, number 182. And baby mouse, they actually develop the symptoms when they are 5 weeks old. And they actually become paralyzed and they can't eat. And then you have to kill them, at 7 weeks old.
Is that a similar condition to human childhood dementia?
The Niemann-Pick type C version of childhood dementia. So the children will develop the symptoms at 5 years old. They will stop talking. They reversed in development because by 5 years old we check the box and so they stop talking, and then they couldn't recognize their parents, and then eventually they actually become paralyzed, and then they will pass on. So now there are some two drugs that can extend their lifespan, but they cannot totally reverse their cognitive deficit. Yeah. So this mouse come out, and my research assistant actually took a picture of it and sent it to me. And the picture showed that there were the four brothers were running around like crazy. They're really cute, and remind me, Stuart Little. And then, but the one with the mutation actually lie flat on the sawdust, and closed his eyes. So my research assistant said, wiped at me and said, "Watching, I don't think this mouse will live past 24 hours. It's cold, it's not moving." And then I say, just give it some DL33, and we mix it in the strawberry milk because mouse actually like berry flavored stuff.
Right.
and feed it by a syringe. Then I went in on Saturday because I actually dosed the mice on weekends so that my staff do not get burnt out, because mouse has to be dosed every single day. They can't stop having the drug on weekends. Then when I opened the box of these NPC mice, I saw everyone was running around, really active. Then I was like, oh no, that mouse must have died. So I called up my research assistant and said, Chris, has the NPC mouse died? And then she said, no, it recovered the next day. I forgot to send you the picture.
Superman. I gave him he had a little name, Superman.
Yeah. So then it become like Spider-Man. He actually jumped up and upside down. It was become totally normal. So that was very encouraging for the first mouse. So then actually, of course, we have more mouse and all them.
Have you repeated that?
Oh yeah. Close to 100 mouse.
Wow.
And every single day of one of them can recover. And then, of course, we don't just assess them by them running away. So we actually harvest their brain, and my postdoc can actually keep the brain alive for 6 hours in a petri dish, and Lee saw that and she was really impressed by it. so we can measure the brain activity. So the mouse that do not have the treatment, their brain activity is about 135, and normal mouse 155. But after 2 weeks of giving
135 what?
Millivolts,
Okay.
the brain activity. So then the sick mouse, the NPC mouse that received treatment went back to 155. Yeah. So it's really encouraging. So that's why we really want to push through this phase 1 study, that push through to get funding for this phase 1 study, because we actually, with the mouse data, we actually got the rare pediatric.
Yeah, we submitted the data and applied for orphan drug designation and rare pediatric drug designation from the US FDA.
Yeah. And with that designation, we can actually include patients in our phase 1 trial. Usually phase 1 trial is only using healthy volunteers, not including patients, except in serious cases like cancer patients. And because of this rare pediatric designation, we can include Niemann-Pick patients as well in our phase 1B. So phase 1A is still healthy volunteers, and we don't see any side effect. We can include the patients. So it's really exciting. Yeah, I'm really hoping that we will get enough funding for the phase 1 trial to include the patients, yes, and see whether they actually like our mice and recovered after short period of time, after 2 weeks.
But we also reduced the number for the clinical trial. So when you have that designation, we've gone from say 3,000 down to 300, and then also we can get registration after phase 2. We do not need to do a phase 3 trial with that designation.
Right.
And also with the designation, we can accelerate or escalate the review time, because when we submit for approval to FDA, it may take up to 2 years to give you the approval. But with the designation, they will actually give you the approval within 4 months. You can apply for accelerated review. Yeah, and also when we do the phase 1 trial on Niemann-Pick, is to gather the safety data, then we can also apply the DL33 to the dementia group. We don't have to repeat the phase 1 for the dementia, the Alzheimer's disease.
The huge move in longevity and biohacking at the moment, is that likely to, so without a treatment like this that we're talking about with dementia, even though the body may be physically healthy and we're living longer, is that catered for in terms of preventing the onset of dementia, or is it, as you age, is the likelihood of getting dementia higher?
Yes, definitely. Brain factory of making DL33 actually slowly shut down.
So even though you may look younger, with all of the different treatments and red light therapy and hyperbaric chambers and all of these sorts of things, but the chances
that's the skin deep.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep.
So Sam Altman, you need to listen up.
Yes.
You need to be looking after the inside, not just the outside.
Yeah.
And that's why we've said health span and lifespan. So we're all living longer, but the health span is 12 years different. So we're trying to bring the two together. So we're also living longer, but we want to have a healthier life.
Who's the other? Brian Johnson, I think his name is the other guy. That's his mission. I heard him interviewed on Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. But his mission is to not die. But I wonder if he's considered this element of it. That's great if you look
keep
younger.
Your brain working. Keep the brain cells healthy. Yep. So the function of DL33 is to keep the brain cells healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
If people, we'll put a link in the comments below this too. But are you happy for people to contact you through Maison
Absolutely.
if they want to learn more?
Yes.
Want to get involved?
Please, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is incredible, and
Thank you.
You took a deeply personal life experience and you've turned it into a lifetime goal now of dealing with it. So
yeah, because I thought, Nick, I can't bring back my mum. One of the to me, and like most people, your mum is everything. Can't bring back my mum, but I can try to help empower others, and that's what Maison means. in the Greek Latin word. So it's all about us empowering ones within. So it's people being able to take control and making a difference with our treatments, not just to one, but hopefully millions and millions around the world. Can't measure that. And so we hope that, one day when we also do leave, this also creates legacy pieces as well with all our investors, that it's just something that we can all say, we made a difference to somebody's life.
Yeah, well done, and thank you. And watching, clearly incredible, and you're very humble, I think, in the way you deliver it, which is unique in some regards, I think, for what you've clearly achieved already and what it looks like you're going to achieve. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd like to add that it's not an effort of one person. So my whole team, they worked really, really hard. My current postdoc, the one that's measuring the brain activity, he's working 12 hours a day, weekend, because he was so excited by the result that he saw. So in my experimental design, the person who analyzed the mice will not know what they've taken. So I put group A and group B. So the person who fed the mice are myself and my research assistant. We prepare the drug and we feed them, but the people who analyze them will not know. So he was so excited when he analyzed the mice that was put on the, we call it group A. He actually came down and knocked on my door and said, Watchin, you have to tell me what's on group A. I need to take that. It really improved the brain activity. Then I said, no, I can't tell you. He said, oh, come on, tell me. and he even worked so hard at 12 hours there, and he's, other postdoc in other lab would say, are you killing yourself, Fong? And then he said, oh, I think we might win a Nobel Prize. It's just so exciting. Yeah, he has been doing this for 20 years, and he never saw a molecule that can reverse the brain activity from the Alzheimer mouse model.
Well, especially a naturally occurring one. Right? I mean, you spoke about the different pathways. So, I think it's amazing. It's something people need to listen to this, share this, because as we said, dementia is the leading cause now of death in adult females, and it's, whether you like it or not, it's going to affect you in some way, shape or form.
That's right.
Yeah.
Support Maison. We'll put the links in the comments below. Share this to get the story out there, because this is potentially going to be one of the greatest discoveries that we've seen in modern medicine for a long time. Fingers crossed.
Out of Australia, and with Wachin's dedicating her life, to research. We're so blessed that God has put incredible people like this on this earth, and her mission has been, and my blessing is to support and help raise and build the company and everyone we need to come on board in supporting this incredible research. And I do believe, Nick, and I've always said to you that, I call her my Einstein. So, and she would be absolutely very, very much a winner to all of us as a Nobel Prize, and being acknowledged for all her 100%. Incredible work, because you do donate your life. These researchers really do 7 days a week, all the time. It's a huge sacrifice.
Yes,
it really is.
Last 10 years, I'll say, I'll go in the lab every Saturday and Sunday. I said maybe 2 weekends where I go home to visit my parents or went to visit my in-laws.
Well, amazing, and huge respect, and thank you, on behalf of certainly me and our listeners, because I've just watched some very good friends of ours who lost their father to adult dementia, and it's a horrible thing to watch that and observe that, and you've seen that personally, Liz. So thank you. Keep going. We'll follow your progress too, and if as things develop, maybe we can get back on here and talk about the next stages of what's happening, and help share the story and the message.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Share it with others who are passionate about healthcare and business. Stay tuned for more incredible stories and insights in our next episode. Until then, keep pushing boundaries. Thanks for tuning into the Australian Business Show. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to rate and review us on your favourite podcast platform. Hit that subscribe button and stay connected with us for more groundbreaking stories, actionable insights, and game-changing tactics designed to fuel your business growth.